first hour that was on USA.
Yes.
Like I said,
They loaded it.
bye-bye AEW.
Oh,
it's
man, yeah?
over. It's over.
AEW hasn't
I
started
agree
yet,
with
dude.
That's
you,
what I'm
man.
saying. That's what I'm saying. It's over.
No, well,
Right?
Shit.
We were just talking about the 3 different flavors, right? You see, NXT is the wrestling fans show, right?
Yes.
yes.
And then you have your bullshit show, which is Raw and SmackDown for the casuals and the people who love drama. Like I love
The
that
commercial
too.
for NXT
I
literally
watched-
said no BS. And
Right.
Yeah.
I watched SmackDown with my mother-in-law, and she gets it. Oh,
See?
I don't like
See?
Shane McMahon.
Perfect. Different
Yeah.
flavors. NXT is taking that flavor that AEW is supposed to try to get, right? And NXT is not only really good at it, they're far better.
Okay, let me ask you guys both a question then, because NXT and AEW, they're going to cater to the hardcore fans. Can they attract the casual fan to come in?
Well, they don't have
That's
to.
going to be.
They don't have
What
to.
do you mean they don't have to?
They don't have to because NXT did a 1.2 rating on Wednesday
Right.
night.
1.2 million. They got 1.2 million viewers.
Yes.
I don't think that AEW is going to attract the casual viewer because I'm a casual viewer and I can't get attracted to the show because unless I'm watching all these YouTube videos and everything, I don't know what's going on.
Right.
And like if my mother, I keep using my mother-in-law as an example, but if my mother-in-law will watch AEW and have absolutely no fucking idea what's going on at all.
Right.
If I don't know what's going on and I'm a wrestling fan, she would have no. So the casual viewer thing is just to me is out the window.
So
they're not going
agree,
to
100%.
They're not going to get it.
On Wednesday nights, what are you watching? AEW or NXT?
NXT
NXT
100%.
by a million.
Even the first episode of AEW, you're not interested.
I'll record it and I'll watch it on
Yeah,
Saturday.
Wow. I'm actually the opposite. I think AEW is going to be the one to watch because I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I think what happened here. I think WWE was smart. I think Triple H was smart. I think AEW was like, we're going to go head to head with WWE. And they were expecting a right hook from WWE. And Triple H just came with an uppercut right to them. And they didn't even see
over.
NXT coming because NXT fucking delivered. And these are the guys that put on the matches that we, the hardcore fans, love. I also think that AEW and NXT are going to split that 1.2 come the first Wednesday.
You think so?
I absolutely think
Think
so.
about this, though. NXT's like, you know what? It's our first show. We won't even put Adam Cole match in. He's the champion.
I forgot about that.
He's
Yeah,
the
they
champion.
didn't- yeah.
That's why the casuals.
Yeah, and Gargano wasn't even on the show.
Boom, and Ciampa's
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah.
So think about like they're not going for the casuals. They're going
Yeah.
for the guys who are supposed to be going for AEW.
Yeah.
So that's why they don't need
This is
that
a total
casual.
uppercut from
And
WWE.
it's
Over.
Dude.
That's what I like. I knew like Triple H got the complete book. That whole intro, I was already hyped.
Well, it's
I
not
was
over
screaming,
yet till we
Fuck
see what
yeah, I
AEW
agree.
does. Like, let's just wait until October 2nd.
I
Let's
agree.
do that because we don't know yet. You're a little too quick to jump on saying AEW's done. They haven't even done their first show yet.
I wouldn't
Let's
say they're
just see.
done, but they should be a little
I
It'll
wouldn't
be a
say they're
challenge,
done.
though. I agree.
I
It'll be a
would say
challenge, but
that-
they're not done because
Well,
they haven't done it yet.
My
They haven't
theory is
started.
this. My theory is this. Like, for the longest time, I don't know if anyone's a basketball fan or anything. Kobe Bryant was the greatest basketball player at a 5-year period or whatever. And there was other guys like Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, all these other contenders who I wanted to believe was better than Kobe Bryant because
In the past 20 years, Kobe was the best player.
no, hold on. But during that era, there's other players who came contenders or competition. They had all the skills and the flash and the talent, but deep down, Kobe was a guy, and I think that's what NXT is, right? So everybody knows NXT is going to be that brand. I think they're going to outdo AEW. What AEW is doing, they're going to do it better.
I will say, NXT looked very small as far as arena-wise.
Right.
Yes.
It looked tiny compared to what the buildings that are selling out for AEW are going to look like.
Right.
I will also say that the AEW roster is a lot older than this NXT roster. So if a couple key people go down in AEW, that's going to be really bad
Right.
for them.
And you guys saw NXT, right? That small arena, it was kind of hot.
I love NXT.
It was a hot crowd.
Right.
I'd much rather watch
It
a
was-
small
They
hot
had
crowd.
They had that bald guy.
Yeah, God, fucking goof. I'd much rather watch a small hot crowd than a larger, less hot crowd.
I agree.
No, but these are the fans that sold it out within minutes. These fans are going to be hot all
yeah,
night.
yeah. It
Easily.
made me hyped to watch the crowd. How intense they got. Like, when Velveteen Dream kicked out of that End of Heartache and the
Oh.
crowd went nuts.
Yeah.
I was just like at home, like, oh my god.
Yeah,
the
ECW days,
first
for
hour,
sure.
Dude,
the first hour was
awesome.
definitely hot. The crowd was definitely hot. The first hour, the second hour, it looked like they may have died down a little bit, but they were still good nonetheless.
Well,
though.
you got that. That was a match. congrats to the Undisputed Era. They are draped in gold now.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong beating Velveteen Dream in a fucking instant classic takeover worthy match.
Right.
They both went out there and tore the house down, and it was a great way to end on NXT. On USA and then go to the network, which a lot of people had problems going to the network because everyone flooded the network to switch over. Right. And I don't think the servers were ready. A lot of people had to like re-log in, and people weren't.
Or they had to wait till later on, perhaps.
Yeah, I waited till later on because I didn't watch it live.
Yeah,
but
me too.
A lot of people that watched it live had a hard time switching over to the network, and that's only going to be for another week because Suits is having their season finale.
Fucking Suits. But
hence why they did the split.
I think you're onto something, dude. I think really Triple H just like it's almost like he wrote a list of like what do wrestling fans like and what they don't like, and he just went down the list like
exactly.
And it's like he didn't try to pull any tricks like. Like you could see right through Vince McMahon and WWE main roster tricks. Like, oh, let's do this to boost rating. Let's do whatever. And Triple H just like took the ship and just went straight ahead and was like, this works. Good wrestling matches work. They didn't have one interview segment. They didn't have one in ring like you're used to as a wrestling fan watching Raw and SmackDown. The 20-minute long intro of like the champion talking about his challenger or whatever. And it's just like, no, they started with a match. They went through and
on the first hour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was all wrestling. No interviews, no backstage segments at all. There was no tricks. There was no main roster. Let's get like Seth Rollins on there to boost the ratings or anything like that. There was no tricks. Like the main roster, they have these tricks that you could see right through. And
like
NXT,
the top of hour 2, we're gonna send out Becky Lynch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You can see right through these tricks. And in NXT, it's like this is what works. We send these guys out. They tell a story in the ring, and that's it. Like it's very simple storytelling. And
it's
I loved
beautiful.
it,
And they did a lot of old school shit that like AEW fans are gonna appreciate. Like the fact that the faction is running shit. So you have the Undisputed Era running it. There's other X factors.
And
Mauro Ronaldo is
just gonna say
best.
that.
The best.
Morrow was on his A game.
He's always on his game. I've never seen him have a shitty outing, no matter what he's covering.
But since we're on the topic of commentators, Nigel McGuinness, we don't give him enough credit for what he's done.
Yeah,
him and Morrow are the best duo in WWE. I mean, you can even say maybe in pro wrestling at the moment.
I agree.
Kick Beth Phoenix out. Bye, dude. And then just have them two call the shit.
Right.
You don't need 3 people.
Especially Beth Phoenix, who literally had zero.
She's been a commentator for like 2 minutes.
I think
like what the fuck?
I think anyone who you have with that combination of Morrow and
Nigel are the 2 best.
You don't need a third person. You can put Tony Schiavone in there. You can put anyone in there for that matter. They don't need a third person. Those 2 are just fine the way they are.
And that's where NXT. Maybe next week we actually think about these things like pros and cons for each one, and we'll go down and see which one can eventually win this. Because as far as commentators go, NXT has the edge easily.
The number one other thing,
Yes.
video fucking packages. Every video packages they did, that covers what WWE fails to do in like these extended promos that they don't need to do.
Yeah.
These video packages are
Literally in 2 minutes, you can explain the character.
Right.
You can tell me what they believe in, and you can tell me how like you can show me highlights from the matches. So I'm like, oh wow, that guy's dope as fuck.
Perfect. Okay, tell me who Ember Moon is.
Black girl.
Couldn't tell you who Ember Moon is.
She
The
has
war
the
goddess.
contacts. She
I have
does
no
the
idea.
flipping stunner move.
Okay,
flip.
so-
But I have no idea who she is. I know that Mandy Rose broke her switch and she got mad.
Oh
Right.
God.
That's all I know about her
Right,
recently.
right.
Yeah, but no, I thought it was great. Do you guys like the squash matches? Do you guys like that squash match
it's
formula?
old school as fuck.
It helps. It helps because it is technically developmental. So it helps a developmental talent that's on the cusp of coming up to the main NXT roster.
Yeah.
And it helps the whoever's squashing them look strong.
And I also think that the people that they're putting out there to be squashed aren't like you're not like, oh my God. It's not like watching Seth Rollins versus Heath Slater where you're like, okay,
Right.
It's a matter of time.
The guy that fought Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne.
Yeah, leading
and,
to the second
and-
hour
and
on the
Ruha.
network, Antonio Ruas.
Yes.
That was actually a good match. That was a good showing by Ruas to
Like-
introduce people to see what he can actually do.
Yeah,
didn't
and
hear-
he was great, and he was just kicking. Dude, he kicked.
I didn't hear one short joke.
Yeah,
the
no,
whole time.
God, no.
I didn't hear Michael Cole call him a loser.
Yeah.
Right.
They actually did a great job of building him up as like pay attention to this guy. He's going to be great.
But next time I see Rujas, I'm gonna be like that. I want to see another match from him because he's great. He just happened to lose, but he's a great wrestler.
Right.
But at least
You know?
he went in there showing that what he can actually do in a losing effort. And I
Right.
think that's worth more than winning a meaningless battle.
Yeah. So I mean, yes, they have squash matches, but they've figured out a way to formulaically like through commentary or
Right.
through their past matches, like say that these people have a chance to win, and it draws you in.
Speaking of which, how good did they build up Lio Rush?
Oh, Lio Rush is-
beautiful.
They made Lio Rush not look like
What a
he was
star.
a Bobby Lashley lackey or
Right.
made short jokes about him.
What a star!
They made him seem like, he's finally back and he's being taken seriously.
Dude.
And look at all the shit he can do.
All through presentation. It was all done through presentation. The way that they talked about him, the way that the way he wrestled, his intensity, everything. Did you ever during that match at all think that this dude is like 5'5"?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Not 1 second did you think that.
He
Nope.
You
he
were
put
just
in a lot
watching
of
how
effort
great of
though.
a match it was.
And the crowd was hyped for him. So the NXT crowd is, again, it's a smarter crowd than your SmackDown Raw crowd. So it's over. AEW, it's over.
I'm telling you, they were expecting
over.
a right hook.
It's-
And they got uppercut.
Yeah.
dude.
It's gonna be a challenge for AEW come October 2nd.
Right.
It's definitely gonna be. It's not gonna be an easy battle, but you know what though? I think in the end though, the fans, especially the hardcore fans, they're gonna be in for a treat.
I mean, we all win. I mean, no one wins or loses in this. But the fact that we're going to get, 4 hours of amazing... Like, we're not even going to cover Raw and SmackDown, I don't think, on the show anymore.
I don't know how we're gonna do this come October. I mean,
We're going to have to change formats. We're going to have to
Right.
do Raw and NXT, and then the following week's SmackDown.
I do want to
boy.
mention something real quick though about the second hour of NXT. I thought they did a phenomenal job with Imperium when Imperium debuted.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we're still talking about NXT. But yes, great point, Dick. Keep going.
Like the way they came out, they introduced Wolf, Eichner, and I'm trying to remember the other person. It wasn't Walter, but it was. But anyways, they all came out. The crowd was super hot for Walter, and when Walter debuted, the place erupted. So it looks like that we might be seeing more Imperium on actual NXT now. So there is going to be some sort of talent swap between the UK brand and for the regular NXT, where they're going to do like a swap out every couple of months or so. And what better way than to have Imperium debut on NXT?
Not only that, but Kushida and
Oh,
Walter.
I was going to get to that right
yeah.
now.
Oh, we were talking about that earlier too. Is like that's the other thing about NXT is that you can think in your head of these future matches that are potential, and not every, but a lot of matches in NXT they're like one-offs, right? You see like Ricochet fought Adam Cole, and that was a good match. And
Right.
you see these like, and then you think ahead, like, man, when Pete Dunne fights Oni Lorcan, that'll be a really good match. And like, it's not like seeing Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor, a million times over again on Raw. Like, it's
Right.
just these one-off matches that are so great, and to see them happen is awesome. And then to think about the potential of, I mean, dude, put Walter versus Lio Rush or
Right.
any of these matches you could put together. And you're like, when those guys meet, it's going to be awesome.
Walter and Keith Lee.
Oh,
dude,
That is
great.
going to be phenomenal.
Great. And so
And you're not
Or
going to
Donovan
see
Dijak.
You're not going to see them in a tug of war match.
no.
You're not going to see any stupid bullshit. You're going to see hard hitting, fucking top notch wrestling. And I hate to say it, but AEW is in trouble
Yeah,
Hoss on
absolutely.
Hoss on Hoss action, baby.
because what other monsters does AEW have other than Luchasaurus?
That's it.
I mean, at the moment, that's really the only really big guy they have.
We just named 3 giant hosses.
Yeah. The meatiest of the meat.
Yeah. And then just I don't know. I'm worried for I was very optimistic for AEW, but this was the first shot, and it fucking rang the bell.
Yeah.
And I'm still gonna be there.
I'm going to withhold judgment with AEW until I see the
Oh, no,
first show.
I'm not giving
Yeah,
judgment. I'm just
I'm
saying.
not going to say it's done, but
This
no.
was I'm not gonna say it's Pete Dunne, but it's definitely.
well done.
I was hoping you're gonna spit out your beer right now. But it's definitely something that AEW should be concerned with.
oh yeah,
Right.
we've seen the first shot now, and so we're like, oh god, whoa.
So October 4th, we have Kofi's R.I.P. You know, obituaries.
Memorial.
Yeah, the next week after we'll have AEWs too. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Damn.
No, I think
AEW
AEW
fans.
is 2 days before that, right? Isn't
Oh,
that-
okay,
October
they'll be dead
2nd.
by- they'll be dead by
October
then.
2nd is the debut show.
AEW be dead by then.
They'll be dead by then. Sorry, Mox.
Yeah, and then they're also incorporating NXT UK, and I guess 205 Live is canceled now, or not
No,
canceled, but
they're incorporating the gimmicks.
absorbing.
Yeah.
The smart thing for them to do is to incorporate 205, the cruiserweight division, into NXT and not to the main roster because they'll be
Right.
better utilized, and the fans will definitely respect them a lot more than being on Raw or SmackDown.
It's still gonna be the
That'll
same format though. They're still gonna show it on that day.
That'll fill out
Oh, okay.
that'll fill out the 2 hours.
Honestly,
or
I don't even
whatever.
think they should do 205 Live anymore. They should just put them into the NXT roster.
Triple
Yeah,
H says
I
it.
agree.
Because you're going to need like I said, you're going to need the talent for 2 hours. And what better way than to have the cruiserweights come out there and wrestle each week? I mean, it could be against each other. It could be against the other talent as well. You definitely need the talent for it.
Here's the thing with NXT. We've been accustomed to 1 hour where we don't see the same wrestler week after week.
Right.
And now that they're 2 hours, they're going to have to start incorporating more like tag matches that like Raw and SmackDown do, where
I
like
hope not.
people are feuding with each other, and now we have to do they have a singles match that ends in a DQ, and then they go into a tag match with the other people that are feuding with each other. They're gonna have to pull out some tricks, and what better way than to have 205 Live incorporated? That way you don't have to see those same matches, the same tricks that Raw and SmackDown pull.
You
out.
have the cruiserweights go out there and wrestle.
Yeah.
I mean, look what made
Dude.
Nitro successful in the beginning.
I was just thinking the same thing. Go
Look what
on.
made Nitro successful in the beginning. The first hour, when they open up Nitro, they always open up with the cruiserweights, and it was always a different. It was always you had Rey Mysterio, you had Psychosis, Juventud Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko. You had a good group of guys out there, very talented, that went out there and they showed the world what they can do and why you should watch Nitro. It was high pace, fast, and it was like balls to the walls offense.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say this. Okay, so they've already announced Sammy Guevara versus Cody on AEW's first show.
Okay.
What would you rather tune into? Does Cody versus Sammy Guevara do anything to make you want to change your mind about watching NXT instead of AEW?
No.
Nope.
Just for that match?
Just on what that match. That, and then they're gonna have the women's champion Riho versus Nyla Jax. Nyla Rose.
Another Rose. Just based off those two matches, no, but
Nope.
you're watching it because of the debut, because of what they can actually do outside of those two matches. What can AEW perform? Because this hype, this AEW hype has been going on ever since they announced AEW.
They got to go all out. They
So
got to have
they-
the pyro. They got to have their production down because
Right.
WWE isn't playing around.
Nope.
WWE is not playing around, and they have literally the best of the indies. I feel like AEW at this point, because of what I watched, we haven't even gotten to the Matt Riddle part, but what I watched on NXT was them showing them we have all this talent, and AEW I feel like is kind of scraping the bottom.
Right.
I mean, they have Kenny Omega, they have the Young Bucks, they have Pentagon, they have big names, but as far as like talent pool, NXT has it in spades.
It's game.
Yeah,
It's
well,
over.
we were talking earlier about how I thought I saw something about Kenny Omega, how he said, we have a main roster, we have a talented roster that's going up against a developmental roster. Like trying to insult NXT.
No, that's not.
Do you see NXT as a developmental like company?
In the beginning,
anymore?
they were, but not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not
It's
anymore.
over, yeah.
Then, like he's talking about him as if they're trying to learn how to wrestle still. And
Right.
Yeah,
that's not what it's about at all. It's,
Kenny Omega had matches with those guys like 5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
They're not rookies. I mean, you can look at your Aliyahs and you can look at your like other people
yes,
that
there are people that are still like
Learning.
honing their craft or whatever. But I think as far as the term developmental, they're developing into the WWE style of learning where the cameras are and learning how to manage yourself backstage and manage your career and your character or whatever.
I watched Kenny Omega versus Roderick Strong like 8 years ago.
yeah.
So you're not getting people that don't know how to wrestle.
Roderick's not developing himself. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as an in-ring talent, he's simply phenomenal. The thing about AEW though is that there's a lot of unknown names, within that company.
They're gonna have to step up.
They're gonna have to They have to introduce them who they are, and I think so far they're doing the best they can as far as introducing the wrestlers to a new audience. Because a lot of these fans, even though they are hardcore fans, they don't know a lot of their talent, especially the ones coming from Japan and from abroad. So they need to introduce them and have them demonstrate what they can actually do in the ring, tell a story, and go from there.
They have the Chinese superstars that are coming in too, which I don't know anything about.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, can they introduce the audience to that fan base? I mean, again, going back to WCW, not a lot of them knew who the luchadors were back then. But WCW, for their credit, they introduced the luchadors to make them known to the American audience.
Yeah.
And it worked for them.
And they start hot.
And they start hot, exactly. So
we're literally 12 days away from the official Wednesday Night Wars, and I feel like we had a great talk. Next week, let's literally put down pros and cons for each company, and we'll see on paper before they go head to head which one we think will win based on the pros and cons. Brad, you're more than welcome to come back again if you like. Yeah. But I think this is a great way. We're going to put a pin in this right now. Thank you guys so much for listening, downloading, subscribing, telling your friends, neighbors, telling your friends' neighbors' dogs. I mean, I'm sure that there's an audience there for them too. By the way, that goes out to Sparky out there in Temecula, California.
Shout out to Sparky.
And we do this every week. We love you guys. Make sure you let everyone know where they can find us: Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, I think, Pornhub, you name it, we're there. Keep spreading the word. We are the new world order of professional podcasting, and we will see you next week. But the one thing I want to talk about, which we almost forgot about, was the ending. Matt Riddle versus Killian Dane in a street fight. What did you guys think about this? I thought it was a great way to end the show. What did you guys think?
Yeah, it was really cool that they went outside and there was people hanging out, and everybody started fighting and joined in, and it was cool.
Literally, the entire locker room was fighting each other. You saw people that have never intermingled with each other fighting each other. I thought this was kind of a little jab at AEW to show them that, like, the Codys and your Young Bucks and everyone's kind of friends with each other. Kenny Omega, you guys do your little YouTube channel. You guys are all friends. Well, guess what? Here at NXT, no one is friends. Everyone fights each other. We have a beef with everybody. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's good. It also brings it back to old school pro wrestling where kayfabe doesn't get crosses as much, and I love that part of it.
It's a nice throwback to the Attitude Era, where some of the Raws ended with these brawls, where there's free for alls. I thought it was a nice throwback.
Yeah, where you'd see the Hart Foundation fighting DOA, fighting Nation of Domination, fighting D-Generation X.
Glory years, man.
I really like the ending of NXT, and it ended on a cliffhanger where I can't wait to watch what happens next week.
Yeah, I love when things are kayfabe, and that is one criticism that I've had about AEW since
you said it. Yeah,
I've said it from the beginning, is that I feel like I'm watching a company with a bunch of buddies that are just putting on a show.
Right.
And I really want to suspend my disbelief when I watch wrestling. And I obviously it's all fake, and all the F word.
It's fake?
What?
Obviously these guys are all buddies and whatever, but like I don't want to know that. I don't want it to be put in my face or whatever. So I don't know. AEW is very guilty of that, and that's one of my biggest criticisms from the very beginning. Is just it's watching a company with a bunch of buddies that are fighting each other.
Yeah. Else. So I'm.
What did you think I was gonna say?
The black with a bunch of black people.
Whoa! Where did that come from?
I was like, wait, what?
Bunch of black people fighting each other.
But yeah, definitely excited to see where these Wednesday Night War take us.